So welcome to this video, welcome to Yoga for Runners, and I've actually just come back from a walk, not from a run, because unfortunately the current times don't allow me so much to go out other than a walk a day with our puppy. But either way, I used to run quite a lot when I lived back home in Switzerland, and I just love the feeling. I love running, and I think yoga is a beautiful combination, a beautiful add-on to your running routine. So today we're practicing a sequence that is designed to ease off all those muscles that you need for running. And usually when you think about your running, you're doing kind of the same repetitive movement for quite a long period of time. Your legs, your thighs, back of your thighs, your hamstrings are working a lot, and you don't get much hip opening because you're only doing the same movement again for a prolonged amount of time. So we're going to make sure we get all those muscles stretching and also allowing the upper body to come into a sort of different movement, because with running, again, quite linear movements. So yoga is here for you today to get that in post running. Welcome to Yoga with Anja. Welcome to Yoga for Runners. So we begin in Balasana, in child's pose. So come to the back of your mat, bring your big toes together. And to already here allow the hips to open, because the hips with running, they're always in the same kind of repetitive movement. They don't open when we run. We are bringing the knees apart to achieve that nice hip stretch. So just get a feel for how far you want to bring the knees apart. And then walk your hands towards the top of your mat. Keep your arms long. Your elbows can rest on the floor. And then if your forehead is close to the mat, rest your forehead onto the mat, or otherwise make pillows with your fists and allow your forehead to soften onto that cushion. And as always in my practices, even though this is more practice for athletes, we do start and honor the true practice of yoga with some breathing. So I invite you now to either soften your eyes or close your eyes completely if that's comfortable. And then just start to draw the breath into your belly from now on. So inhaling, drawing the breath in through the nostrils. Feel how the breath is traveling all the way along the back of the throat, past the chest, and then you're breathing deep down into the lungs. And imagine your lungs are reaching all the way down into your hips. And I know they don't at all, but try to breathe into your hips, the area of your lower abdomen for today. And let's just take a few of those deep abdominal breaths. Inhale through the nose, feel your breath expanding. And as you breathe out, allow the body to soften. 4 more rounds. Inhale. As you breathe in, you can also stretch your arms a bit further forward. Back is lengthening. And exhale, relax those muscles. 3 more rounds. Breathe in. Feel a light sensation of stretch along your arms, along the spine. And as you breathe out, just relax and release. Take 2 more deep belly breaths. Start to spread your fingers wide, so you also get a bit of a stretch into your hands, your wrists. Fingertips are walking forward. Hips are heavy on the heels. Beautiful work. And then slowly walk your hands in toward you, just about 1 hand width. Lift your forehead off the mat. And then walk your hands all the way over to the left side. Stretch your right arm, bend your left arm, so think of moving your elbow towards the back of your mat, and then try to lower your forehead again towards the ground, or you can just hover your head off the mat. Think of bringing the head in line with your right shoulder. And then again, the fingers of the right hand are wide open, palm is nice and open. And try to shift your right hip back onto that right heel, so you're really feeling the right side body expanding and opening. And the reason we are coming into a side stretch is that, again, when you're running, the side body definitely isn't opening, and not that it has to when you're running, but we try to allow the lungs to open up, to breathe here, in case you're not used to running as much, or even if you are, sometimes we lose our breath. And the other thing is to stretch the side body here and get into different areas than when you were running. So take one more inhale, one more exhale, hips are heavy. Beautiful work, and then lift your whole body, walk your hands back through center, and then stretch your left arm away from you, just as far over as you'd like to, as you can. Right hand is next to the leg, the hip, and that elbow is bent. And then again, soften the forehead down, and just notice if your shoulder is creeping up to the ear, make sure you bring the head away from the shoulder, so you're allowing the neck to find its full length. The shoulder is rolling down towards the ground, so the armpit is facing the mat, the floor. And while you're in this side stretch, just breathe again. Breathe deep into wherever you're feeling that sensation. In the left side body, that could be the hips. Maybe you're feeling it in the side body. Breathing in, breathing out. And don't worry how far you're going. So don't look at the video, don't look how my body is moving, it's your body. Take one more inhale. And then again, slowly press the hands down into the mat and then lift your body all the way into tabletop. So come onto your hands, your knees, and then we're going to straight come into downward facing dog. Hands, move one hand width further forward, then tabletop. Curl your toes under. And just allow your toes to spread wide. So the pinky finger moves away, pinky toe rather, moves away from the big toe. Feet are pressing down. And now for downward facing dog, a nice full body stretch. Hips move towards the heels and then lift the knees and slowly, slowly lift the hips towards the ceiling for downward facing dog. Now, if this posture is quite new to you, if you're again mainly running, yoga maybe hasn't been part of your routine yet, downward facing dog is basically a upside down V shape. So the hips are lifting, that's the highest point of your body. Hips are facing up towards the ceiling. Think of your sits bones really reaching up towards the sky. Your hands, your arms are long, but if you're a bit hypermobile, if your elbows, the inside of your elbows are pointing forward, then make sure the bony bits of your elbows, and that sounds more complicated than it is pointing out, so you have a soft bend in the elbows. And then shake your head loose. Head is moving left and right. Draw a circle with your nose one way, then the other way, and just take a break. Come back into tabletop whenever you need to. And then as you come to pause, we're going to move into the legs. So bend your right knee to the chest. Try to bring the left heel a bit closer to the mat. So straighten the left leg out more. Then you're bending the knees. Right leg straightens more, left leg bends. You can always keep the knees bent, but just try to bend one knee more and lengthen the other more. Maybe I should say lengthen rather than straighten, because we don't worry about straight legs. Try to really walk your legs out, and this movement is what you've been doing running already. So the hips are not doing any different movement, but we try to stretch the back of the legs and the whole back line of the body here. And again, actually all the way into the arms as well, into the neck. So take a few more breaths here. Make sure the shoulders stay away from the ears. Look towards the knees so the neck is nice and long. And then come to pause for a moment. And actually, let's take a break very quickly. So the knees come down, untuck your toes, and like we started, come into child's pose, this time with the knees together, and then bring your hands towards the heels. And just allow the body to soften. And the more you breathe, the more you focus for the whole rest of this class on your breath, the more your muscles actually get that benefit, because you're breathing oxygen into the body. The muscles start to soften or recover, and then hopefully tomorrow you feel different than if you wouldn't stretch the body, if you wouldn't practice yoga. So let's come back into downward facing dog. Again, you could start in tabletop to measure. Take the hands one hand width further forward, curl the toes under and lift the hips up. Downward facing dog. Now this time, ground into your left foot. The heel can be lifted or the heel can be fully on the mat. Now take your right foot and use your big toe and the second toe to wrap around the Achilles tendon. And then try to ground your left heel down towards the mat more by using the weight of your right leg. And take a few breaths. Keep lifting your hips, keep lengthening your arms. Press the mat forward and away. The left knee can be bent, but try to feel the stretch in the calf muscle now. Inhale. Exhale. Very, very nice. And then release for the other side. Right foot comes down. You can bend the knee more. You can have the leg straight. Take your left foot, hook your second toe and your big toe around the Achilles. And then try to ground that right heel down towards the mat. Head is relaxed. If it helps you, just shake it out here. Shake it yes and no. Breathe into that stretch. Maybe the hamstrings as well. Hopefully you feel it in the calf here. Very important to stretch those muscles when you're running. Super. And then release. Feet are hip width. Now walk your hands towards your feet. Or your feet towards your hands slightly so you meet somewhere at the back, maybe towards the middle of your mat. And then from here, just keep your back relaxed for a moment. Hold opposite elbows, head is heavy. And then gently shake the body left and right. Continue breathing deep. You can exhale through the mouth to release a bit of heat from your run, maybe from this practice already. Very nice. And then as you release your hands, make contact with the mat. So you can either bring your fingertips onto the mat or the palms fully. Bend your knees as much as you need to so you can do that. I'm going to stay on the fingertips. So you might try this version as well. Now lift your heels, shift the weight into the balls of your feet and then bend your knees. Make sure this is okay for your knees, otherwise stay in forward fold. I'm just offering you this option today if this is comfortable for you. Now we're going to move again through the back of the legs here. Think of this as a kind of sprinter position, so you're starting your run. Fingertips on the mat. Now start to lift your hips again. Straighten the left leg. Bend your right knee to your chest and try to really press the heel of your left foot into the mat. And don't worry about what the right leg is doing. The right knee is bent. Now you're coming back into your kneeling stance. Look forward. Chest is long. Sternum is lifting. Exhale. Press through the right heel. Bend your left knee and exhale. In yoga, we always connect movement to the breath. So let's do a few more rounds. Inhale, come back. You can also just hover the hips off the mat, working with strength. Bend your right knee. Your left leg is straight and breathe out. Inhale, let's move with the breath. Exhale, right leg straight, left knee bent. Breathe in, 2 more rounds. Exhale, one leg bent, the other straight. Inhale, and the head is just following the movements. The head is not initiating it. Keep the neck relaxed, shoulders relaxed. 1 more round. We use your breath. Inhale and exhale. Breathe in, come back through to center. Very, very nice. And exhale all the way out. Come back into your kneeling stance. Again, if this is okay for your knees, and just lift the chest, lift the sternum. Lift high onto the balls of your feet. Rest your hips down. And even this could feel like a nice stretch if you've just been running or walking. 1 more inhale. And then we're going to come back into downward facing dog. So however you can, carefully come back into down dog. Bring the hands forward, the feet back, so you have a greater distance between the palms and the feet for downward facing dog. Now this time lift your heels off the mat, look forward, take 1 step to reach your hands, And then move the other leg forward, forward fold. Round your chin towards your chest, round your spine, and then roll up to standing, vertebra by vertebra, until you come up into mountain pose. Now from here we come into a wide-legged stance. So the feet are as wide apart as it is comfortable for your body. The insides of the feet are facing each other. And try to bring your big toes just very minimally in, and then roll the weight into the outer edges of your feet. So you're still grounding through the inner edges, but your awareness is more pressing into the outside of your feet. Feet, not feet. Very, very good. Now, left hand stays on the leg, reach your right arm out. Try to really lengthen the right arm away from the body. Open your palm, spread through the fingers, and then flip your palm so your palm is reaching up towards the ceiling. And notice how your shoulder can relax now. The stretch might already start here in your forearm, in your upper arm. Now let's breathe in, raise your arm up towards the ceiling, and exhale, come into a side body stretch. Again, this is really beneficial for the lungs to open, to get into a different shape of body after running. With your left hand down the leg, you can stay there if you want to use a bit more the core. Take your arm, palms are facing, and then you're reaching both arms away from the body. Take another in-breath, keep the shoulders relaxed, roll them down your back. And then bring your left hand down if you had it lifted, and release. Come all the way back through to center. Try to not tense up through the soles of your feet. So notice if your feet are gripping, and try to relax, just simply ground. Left arm extends, right arm is soft. Reach through the fingertips and notice how the shoulders can relax down. And now as you flip the palm even more, so you have a beautiful open neck. Breathe in, reach into your fingertips. Now breathe out for your side bend. Ground into your left foot and feel the extension from the left foot all the way into your fingertips. If you've done it on the other side, take your right arm and reach both arms away from the body. Shoulders stay down, but you're sending energy into all 10 fingers. Beautiful work on your next in-breath. Release the right hand and exhaling, come back to center. Bring both arms out and away from the body into a T shape. And then the palms again are facing up towards the ceiling. From here, bend your elbows and open your chest up towards the skies. Sometimes when we are running, we might not be as aware of the upper body. Could be that you're slightly slouching. So allow your upper body to open here. Now bring your hands behind you. Keep that chest expansion. You can rest your palms onto the low back or interlock your fingers behind your back. Draw your knuckles down, then away from the body. And as you exhale, reach the chest forward and come into a wide-legged forward fold. Good stretch for the shoulders, a good broadening to feel across the chest. Come back to your breath and really make your breaths count for this practice. So inhaling, draw the breath down into your belly. Exhale, release through the nose or mouth. Keep grounding through the feet. Feel the hips lifting up towards the ceiling like in downward facing dog. And then release your hands. If you had them interlocked, bring them onto the low back. And then carefully release them down towards the ground. Now lift your body halfway. And of course your hands might be lifted here. So this doesn't matter. I'm going to show you the option first. If your right hand is lifted off the mat, I'm actually going to mirror you so you can see it. If your right hand is lifted, I suggest you take it to the left leg, the opposite leg. If your right hand is down, ground your palm. Now take an in-breath, reach your left arm out. And just follow your hand with your gaze. Make sure your hips stay where they are so the hip is not rotating and opening. Follow your left thumb with your gaze, if that's comfortable for the neck. Otherwise, if you feel like you need to relax the head, look down. And again, if the floor feels far away, you are there. with your right hand on the outer edge of the leg. Breathe in, stretch and lengthen through the spine, extend into your fingertips. And then for the twist on the other side, we're going to mirror exactly that on the second side. So if the floor feels too far away for the left hand under the head, take it onto the other leg, opposite leg. And then breathe in, extend your arm out and maybe up towards the ceiling. Shift your hips back toward your left foot. So notice the hips, they stay squared with the mat. Looking towards the thumb or looking down so your head can relax. Take another in-breath, lengthen, reach into those fingers, feel the shoulders opening up. And then exhale to release. Beautiful work. And just hang out there for a moment. Wherever you are, either hands on either legs. Hands on the floor with the head heavy. Shake the head yes and no. Take a round of circle one way, then the other way around. Very, very nice. And now to come into tabletop, just gently bend your knees. Walk your hands to your, actually any foot, so you're facing the front of your mat. Turn both feet so they're facing forward. Lower one knee down and then step the opposite leg back into tabletop. So you're returning to where we started for down dog. Hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Now for our last posture today, we're going to come into hip opener, into pigeon pose. So lift your left knee, bring your left knee to your left hand, take the foot and bring it towards the opposite palm. And then start to shift and shuffle your right leg back. And I should say here that this is a very challenging posture for some of us, especially if you're an athlete. If you might not stretch as much, this is completely normal. Even for myself, a very deep posture. So if this doesn't feel appropriate, I would like you to lie on your back and hug your knees into your chest for now. So see how it feels. The left knee is opening, so make sure you have an angle at your hips. Both hands are on either side of the mat. And then shift the body around so you're really facing the front of your mat. And notice if your hips are fully lifting. Mine do as well, by the way. You could place bolsters and pillows underneath your hips. So make sure your knee is safe. Make sure this posture feels good here. And then, if you would like to go into a bit of deeper sensation, if your body allows you to go there, start to walk your hands forward and allow your head to sink down. You can fully ground the head or you can just stay lifted in your pigeon pose. And even here, where we hold the posture for a longer duration, we want to stay slightly active in the body, so your body is protected. Try to gently press the left outer edge of the foot into the mat, the left calf. So keep it slightly lifted. And then from there, on every exhale, just relax the hips over that left heel. Make sure even here your shoulders stay away from your ears in this pigeon pose. If you're on the floor, just hug your left knee into your chest, straighten your right leg down. You can take movement for the hip joint or you can just stay in stillness. If you're in this pigeon fold or slightly higher lifted, then come back to your breath. And without forcing the breath, just draw it down into your belly so you have a deep breath going. On every exhalation, relax shoulders, relax your jaw, and just allow the body to settle. Feel your belly expanding on the in-breath, softening on the exhale. Now take 3 more full cycles of breaths here. And after your third exhale, really take your time. You can stay there if you still haven't finished those breaths. When you're ready, ground your hands down. Use your palms to lift up. And then curl your right toes under and push the heel away. Really support yourselves with your hands, with your right leg, so you can lift the hips and then shift the left leg back. Stay in this plank or bring your knees down to the mat, and wherever you are, just walk your legs out for a moment. And then let's move on to the second side. So bring your knees back to the ground and come into pigeon pose. Right knee moves towards the right ankle, left foot hovers across. You extend your left leg back. Make sure you open the right knee so you're at an angle. And then just notice again, the hips don't have to be on the ground, but it should feel comfortable and not too much of a sensation. For the knee, definitely not. And for the hips, it should be a good challenge, I would say. If you're doing this on the floor, you're hugging the right knee into the chest and you straighten possibly the left leg down now. If you are in this pigeon pose, ground through the outer edge of the left foot. Gently press into the whole length of your lower right leg. And then start to walk your hands forward and really make sure that you're parallel to the floor. So your upper body is parallel. Your hips are not rolling to one side more than the other. You can stay lifted. You could do these fists and the pillow again, like you've started. And with every inhale for the time we are on this side, or in this posture rather, on this side, feel your in-breath moving down along the back of your spine. So you're inhaling and you actually feel your back lifting. And on every out breath, just release through the front body. So relax your chest, relax the shoulders, armpits, and allow the body to surrender. Whenever you feel your body is releasing that extra bit more, you could walk the hands further forward, but just allow that stretch to happen. We're not forcing, we're not pushing. You are wherever it is appropriate to your body today. Maybe close your eyes. Maybe soften your gaze. And then also for this side, take 3 nice, long, nourishing breaths. And I really do encourage you to keep this practice or any other yoga practices going, even though you're an athlete and you might not be interested in the spiritual side of yoga. This is okay, this is your choice. But it's such a wonderful way to balance it out, to have exercise and then the beauty of yoga where we have strength and flexibility, but also the whole side that is unseen, the whole side that is happening within the body with your breath and everything, and that will allow your running practice, I'm sure, to evolve as well. So enough said for now. Slowly on your next in-breath, come back out of your pigeon pose, ground hands down, curl your left toes under, shift that pressure into your left foot so you can gently lift the right leg, and then again pedal it out and slowly release the knees. And we're going to finish this practice just with a quick back stretch, back release as well. So come to lie down on your back, hug your knees into your chest. And as you do so, just make sure your hips are not lifting too much. So bring the knees a bit further forward to make sure your lower back stays on the mat. And now tuck your chin towards your chest, so the neck is nice and long. You can hold your knees, the outer edges, or you can really wrap your arms around your legs. And I would suggest now is the time to close the eyes. Now it's the time to go inward for a moment, following the breath, allowing the body to relax and to restore. So let's take 3 more collective breaths together. Cleansing round, so you're breathing out through the mouth in a moment. Inhale, draw your breath into your belly. Feel your belly expanding towards the thighs. As you exhale, open the mouth and release. Maybe the knees come closer. 2 more rounds like this. Breathe in, fill your belly with new fresh energy, new air. Feel the lungs. And as you exhale, cleansing breath, release. All the way, all the way, all the way out. Very nice. 1 more round. Inhale through the nose. And complete a nice, long, nourishing exhale through the mouth. Beautiful, beautiful work. Well done for starting up or continuing your yoga practice. If you wish to finish in Shavasana, if you know where you're going, take your time to rest. And either way, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and you like the video if it was helpful to you. Thank you so much from my heart to yours. Namaste.